Do you know the one feeling that can break even the toughest of men? It's not physical pain, it's not failure, it's betrayal. That moment when the person you trusted, the one you gave your heart to, turns their back on you, and it cuts deep, deeper than any rejection or loss. Betrayal by the woman you love, it shatters something inside you, but as a man you don't get to break down, you don't get to fall apart, because the world doesn't care how much you hurt. Today we're talking about the kind of pain that rips through you like a knife, when the woman you love betrays you. And more importantly, we're talking about how to face it, carry that pain, and still rise stronger than before. Let's get real. There's nothing like the pain of being betrayed by someone you loved. It's not just disappointment, it's a gut-wrenching stab that leaves you breathless, your heart, your trust, your very core broken. And it doesn't hit you all at once. No, it creeps in slowly, like a poison. That feeling of disbelief when you first find out. The way your body shakes uncontrollably, how your chest tightens like you can't breathe. It's like everything inside you is crumbling, but on the outside you have to keep it together. You can't scream, you can't cry, not in front of the world, because as a man you have to stay strong. You have to hold it all in. That's the cruel truth of it all. The world doesn't give you the space to fall apart. People don't expect men to break. They expect you to carry the weight of the betrayal, to swallow your pain and keep going. But inside it feels like your heart is being torn apart. Now let me tell you something, you don't get to show that pain. No one's coming to console you, to pat you on the back and tell you it'll be okay. That's not your reality. You can't afford to wear your heartbreak on your sleeve, because the moment you do, the world will judge you for it. They'll see it as weakness. And as a man, there's no room for weakness. You wake up, you go about your day, and you act like nothing happened, like you're not dying inside, like you don't feel a knife twisting in your chest every time you think about her. You've got to hide it from your family, your friends, your co-workers, because the moment you break, the moment you let that sadness show, you're no longer the man they expect you to be. They need you to be strong, even when you're crumbling. And here's the hard truth, you can't expect anyone to understand your pain. The world doesn't give men the space to be broken. Sympathy, pity, you'll never get that, not in the way you might need it, so don't even look for it. Betrayal isn't the end, it's a test. But here's where you make a choice. Do you let that betrayal break you, or do you rise above it? Because this is a test of your strength, your discipline, and your will to survive the hardest moments. She may have shattered your trust, but she doesn't get to shatter you. That's not how this story ends. The world is waiting to see how you handle this. Will you drown in your pain, or will you push forward even when it feels impossible? Every man who's faced betrayal knows this. It's not about the pain itself, but about what you do with it. Will you let it make you bitter, angry, and weak? Or will you use it as fuel to become stronger than ever? Because here's what you need to remember. Betrayal is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of her choices. Her betrayal doesn't mean you weren't good enough. It means she couldn't see your value, and that's on her, not on you. Rebuilding yourself the path forward. This is where real men are made. In the moments after betrayal, when you're left to pick up the pieces of your broken heart, that's when you decide who you're going to be. Will you be the man who crumbles under the weight of it, or the man who rises, who rebuilds himself from the ground up? You don't need her validation. You don't need her sympathy. What you need is to rebuild your own strength, to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm still standing, because you are. And you always will be. You don't need to show your pain to the world. You carry it silently, and you use it as motivation to push harder, to grow stronger. You start with discipline. Discipline over your emotions. Discipline over your thoughts. Every time that feeling of betrayal creeps in, every time the pain tries to take over, you push it down. You focus. You tell yourself that this pain is temporary, but your strength, that's forever. Conclusion, the strength to endure. At the end of the day, betrayal is just another challenge, another test in a long line of tests that life throws your way. It's painful, yes. It shakes you to your core, but it doesn't define you. As a man, you don't get the luxury of falling apart. You're the one who keeps things together, for yourself, for those around you. So take that pain and use it. Don't let it break you. Let it build you. The strongest men are those who faced betrayal, who felt the knife in their back and still stood tall. They didn't need sympathy. They didn't need someone to hold their hand. They just needed the strength to push forward. And that strength is within you. Stay strong, brothers. Keep pushing forward, because in the end, it's not about the betrayal. It's about how you rise after it. If you're ready to take control of your life and become stronger than ever, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep growing together. We're just getting started. Stay strong. Keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next one.